So Whole Foods may not in fact be the organic grocer that you thought it was. And is it as safe as you thought it was as a healthy eater? So let's dig into it a little bit. So we're going to mostly talk about the organics that are inside of the store. And I thought of this as I was going to the store tonight. And we're going to talk about also alternatives that you could or maybe should do or use or utilize instead of going to a big chain retailer like this. First, I'll say back in the 80s when it was owned by John, I would say that they were in fact mostly organic. But at some point, Mackey came along and said, hey, I need a little bit extra money, and he got some investors. And when the investors came along, this changed up the relationship with Whole Foods and the suppliers. Because then they started allowing things in, creeping in little by little by little, that were not local organic products. And so today, Whole Foods is a gigantic monster, right? And they call themselves one of the only national truly organic certified stores. But there's a partial truth to that because most of the things in the store are no longer organic. And you have to be wary and careful of even when it says organic or not. First, you should know organic things have a 9 on the sticker. So if you don't see that 9, and this is for produce, but if you don't see that 9, then it's not organic. Also, you should know that there are levels of certification that they allow inside of Whole Foods, and most consumers don't do enough due diligence of reading labels to understand if it's truly fully organic or not. And what is the impact of not having organic have on the body? Well, we'll dovetail on that one just real quick. Non-organic means there's some type of chemical or pesticide or man-made constituent inside there that the body doesn't know how to deal with. And over time, through non-organic foods, through the water we drink, through the air we breathe, the things we breathe in, all these things start to stick into our body and metastasize and start to become sickness and disease and cancers. So, is eating organic the only way that you can be healthy? Maybe not, probably, but to not upset the balance of things, what I'll say is that you need to do your due diligence of doing the best you can of ingesting and inserting only organic and natural products onto and into your body. I have had several family members die of different diseases. The mother died of cancer. So we'll just talk about that one. She smoked. That was certainly a cause of it, but she also fed us all bunch of chemical-laden things, never bought organic. So after I moved out, I decided to start eating a little healthier. And today I have been vegan and raw vegan for the better part of 8 years. And my numbers, I go to the VA for my health care, and my numbers across the board have leveled out and actually improved over time since I started eating vegan and organic. So I know for a fact that it works, and I know for a fact that I'm not going to die of the same things that my mother, my uncle, my brother, my father all died from. I'm not going to say that I'm not going to die. I would like to live to 200, but we'll see how that goes. But I do plan on living an extra long life. Now back to Whole Foods. So again, 9 on your products. Know this about when it says organic. They have certification levels of organic inside the store. So they have fully 100% organic, meaning everything is organic, supposedly. And then they have a threshold of, it can be 95% and still labeled as organic. And they even have a threshold that can be laid 70% and still be labeled as organic. Those are mostly the products now inside of grocery, not produce, but all the packaged stuff. So keep this in mind when you're actually reading things. You have to read it and you have to go, oh, look, the wheat is organic, but then all the other stuff is not. So do I want to ingest this into my body, into my life? So do your due diligence of reading everything. Read the labels of your produce, all right? So get good also to make sure that the produce labels are fully organic as well. We won't get into this video. It's going to go too long. I'll do a separate video on certification levels of produce, because there are certification levels of produce too. So not all produce is 100% organic. Just keep that in mind. They have thresholds to say, oh, we can spray high level herbicides, but just not spray on the product. But that still seeps in, which seeps in. So keep this in mind, guys. Also, is it worth it? So every time I buy a bag, one grocery bag of Wholefoods foods, costs just about $100 per bag. Now, luckily, we're a family of two. Well, we're a family of four. We have our little doggies, and our doggies eat organic food with us, and they eat human organic food, which is fruits, vegetables, nuts, seeds, these types of things. So we have a family of four. Now, the thing that you can do to overcome the price and the organic hoo-ha is you can go to local farmers markets, become a member of a CSA of an organic farm, consumer supported agriculture. That's another way that you can do it. There may be some alternatives to get things shipped to you as well. Know this, organic products always cost more money. Organic farmers have a harder way of life in maintaining their foods to deliver good, nutritious food to you. So it's worth it to pay them a little bit more. But is it worth it to pay the Whole Foods prices? I'll give you an example, just two. Avocados at Whole Foods, organic avocados, are almost $4 an avocado. Bell peppers at Whole Foods are also like $3.50, $4.50 a pepper at Whole Foods. Now you go to a farmer's market and you can get organic peppers or organic avocados as an example. And my avocados cost about $1.50. Dollar sometimes, if they're getting real soft. So the peppers are just about 85 cents at a farmer's market. So you can get a lot cheaper alternatives at a farmer's market. Not all farmers markets are going to be the same. I've been to some farmers markets that my avocados cost $2. It's still cheaper than the $4 at Whole Foods, and peppers cost about $2, but that's still better than the $4 at Whole Foods. So I understand why they have to charge more, because they have to pay for those big, beautiful stores. They have to pay for the employees. So you better bet you're paying more inside the store than you will direct from the supplier or direct from a farmer. So this is where we do most of our shopping. In fact, most of our produce comes from farmers markets. Luckily, we live in Florida and we have farmers markets year round. Now, Florida can't grow stuff year round because the summer season is very hot and only a few things grow in the summer season. So we don't always get everything we want in the summertime, but that's okay. That's called seasonal eating, which is good for the system anyway. If you read my book, Living on High Speed, I talked a lot about seasonal eating and how it's really good for us. Instead of buying 1 or 2 or 3 standard foods every time you eat, you start getting nutrient deficiencies. So anyway, guys, this has gone on long enough. I just wanted to say this because, again, I went into Whole Foods, and we do every now and again if we're running low on something, or if we want a packaged type of item, and sometimes we do. Sometimes they have chocolates that we can't get from anywhere else that are organic and raw, and cookies that are organic and raw from local suppliers. So your local Whole Foods may have some really good stuff that you can't get anywhere else. So I'm not saying get rid of them, but I am saying do your due diligence, shop local, feed your local farmers, give them a little bit more money than you are the big retailers. Peace out.